Hey everyone, this is going to be my Game of Thrones Season 7 finale preview video. I'm going to talk about everything we can expect from this episode. I just can't believe this season is already coming to an end. It all happened so fast. And if I'm not wrong, we have to wait until 2019 for the next season. So our long watch for Season 8 will begin next week. Anyway, Episode 7 has also been leaked on Reddit. I'll leave the link in the description and you can go check it out. I'll be talking about this post throughout the video, so strong spoiler warning. If you don't want to know anything about Season 7, Episode 7, this is not the video for you. Just stop watching and exit. Please don't complain that I didn't give you a warning. And keep in mind that the predictions may not be 100% accurate. If you're still on board, then let's get started. Episode 6 had a runtime of 70 minutes, but Episode 7 will be even longer. The runtime is around 80 minutes. Which is so far the longest in the history of Game of Thrones. Undoubtedly, the Dragon Pit scene is going to be the highlight of this episode. A large chunk of the cast will be present there. Except for the Starks and a few characters, almost the entire cast will be at the pit to discuss the Great Others. Dany mobilizes her armies outside of King's Landing in case Cersei has set a trap for them. Well, you can't simply trust Cersei even if you have a truce with her. Bronn welcomes Jon, Tyrion, Davos, and everyone else. By this time, Brienne has also arrived. She is surprised that the Hound is still alive, and they talk about Arya. He is happy that she is safe and doing well. Podrick has a small reunion with Tyrion, and he still addresses Tyrion as Lord. Missandei asks, why did they build the Dragon Pit? Tyrion replies, oh, it was hundreds of years ago, long before my time. Ask Ser Jorah. Obviously, Tyrion is making fun of him. Jorah then explains why they built it. Everyone starts to gather at the Dragon Pit. Cersei, Euron, and the Mountain arrive. The Hound brings a cage in which he has the White imprisoned. Euron asks Theon whether he is going to do anything to save Yara. He challenges him to try, and Theon vows to rescue his sister. Tyrion feels insecure and he thinks this is all some sort of a trap. Cersei asks him, where is she? That's when Dany makes a grand entrance with her 2 dragons. With everyone gathered at the pit, Tyrion starts explaining what this meeting is about. Jon tells them that the White Walkers and the Army of the Dead are real and everyone must unite. Cersei dismisses it as a lie and says these are just stories for children. So the Hound displays the proof. The Hound chops up the White, but it keeps moving. Jon shows them that the only way to kill it is with dragonglass or with fire. So they set fire to one of the White's arms and the arm stops moving. Then they stab the Dead with dragonglass and it finally stops moving. After seeing the White, Cersei realizes that all the stories of her youth are true and it scares the hell out of her. Euron reacts to the White in a typical way. He asks, can it swim? Jon replies no. And Euron says, good, I'm going back to the Pike then. Cersei agrees to unite their armies against the White Walkers only if she remains as the Queen after the Great War, and she will allow Jon to be the Warden of the North, to which Jon refuses and says, Daenerys is the only queen I serve. He even swears an oath in front of everyone. This angers Cersei, and she leaves the meeting. Brienne urges Jaime to convince Cersei to join with them. Then Tyrion goes to Red Keep to meet Cersei, and here is their leaked conversation. Tyrion stands before his sister. Cersei regards him, but she doesn't speak. Tyrion sits down. Cersei, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. She's very much your sort of woman. A foreign whore who doesn't know her place. Tyrion replies, a foreign whore you can't abduct, beat, or intimidate. That must be very difficult for you. Cersei, and so you brought her here with her pet northerner, who she convinced to bow down. Tyrion, I did not know about that. Cersei, and now you are both committed to destroying our family. You've been working for that your whole life. Tyrion, I'm the one preventing that from happening. Daenerys didn't want peace and to negotiate. She didn't want me to bring you words. She wanted to bring you fire and blood, until I advised her otherwise. If I'm so committed to destroying my family, then why am I still here? It's a story you've been telling yourself since I was born, but it's not true. I don't want to destroy our family. I never have. After a long conversation, Cersei agrees to send the troops to the north. Tyrion then heads out with Cersei to meet the rest of the people, and Cersei tells them that after speaking to Tyrion, she will send troops north to help against the White Walkers. Dany and Jon are expecting several thousand of Lannister soldiers to march north as they go with the Unsullied to the East Watch. But at the last moment, Cersei betrays them and doesn't send troops, so that the White Walkers will take care of her enemies. and she admits to Jaime she was lying. He gets mad and leaves her. He rides north to join the armies. Jaime literally gives up everything. He's no longer wearing the Lannister uniform. He's no longer commanding any army or representing his house. He's now dressed like a sellsword, like Bronn. He looks at the high towers of the Red Keep. He looks forward, never looking back again, and starts riding north on the King's Road. The next scene is in Winterfell, at the Great Hall. Bran, Sansa, Arya, and the other liege lords are present there. This is a significant scene because an important character is going to die. If you have been watching my videos regularly, you probably would have already guessed it. If you haven't, it's none other than Littlefinger. Sansa reveals all his crimes and she passes the sentence, and here is the leaked script. Sansa, when you brought me back to Winterfell, you told me there is no justice in the world, not unless we make it. Then she nods to Arya. Littlefinger glances at the Stark girl, who is now the executioner with a dagger in her hand. And Sansa says, "Thank you for all your many lessons, Lord Baelish. I will never forget them." Arya quickly stabs him multiple times with her dagger, very fast, and he doesn't see it happening until it's over. He falls while everyone in the Great Hall watches him die, and no one moves a muscle to help him. Next, we see Samwell Tarly, who finally reached Winterfell. He meets Bran, and they have a conversation about Jon. Sam says he wants to speak to Jon. Bran also says the same thing. He reveals that Jon Snow is actually Jon Blackfyre, and he is the son of his Aunt Lyanna and Prince Rhaegar. Sam then tells him that an annulment was issued to Prince Rhaegar, and he remarried. Bran goes back to the past and sees the marriage between Rhaegar and Lyanna in a forest. Bran realizes the whole Rhaegar kidnapped Lyanna story was totally fabricated. Also, there is a romantic scene between them. There is another love-making scene between Jon and Dany on a ship, which is heading to Eastwatch. Apparently, these two scenes are shown in back and forth. Bran discovers that Jon's real name is actually Aegon Targaryen, and he is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. The next scene is about a conversation between the Stark sisters after Littlefinger's execution. Sansa and Arya look out across the snowy landscape. Arya looks at her big sister. She asks, "Are you alright?" Sansa nods, and she starts talking. "It's just strange. In his own horrible way, I think he loved me." Arya shrugs like she doesn't have anything to do with it. Arya says, "You did the right thing." Sansa replies, "You did it." "I'm just the executioner. You passed the sentence. You're the Lady of Winterfell," said Arya. Sansa glances at Arya and she asks, "Does it ever bother you?" Arya shakes her head and replies, "Nope." And she continues to talk. "I'm never going to be as good as a lady like you, so I had to become nothing else. I could never have survived what you survived." Sansa, "You would have. You're the strongest person I know." Arya looks at her big sister again, and the scene ends. The final scene of episode 7 is Bran wargs into a raven which is flying around the Eastwatch. He sees the Night King attacking the wall with his reanimated dragon, who now breathes blue flames, and the wall starts melting, and a huge portion of it falls down, which is enough for the army of the dead to pass through. Beric and Tormund are shocked when they see the Night King, who is on top of the dragon, flying above them. The Night King has finally set foot in the realm, and the Great War has begun. Now, if you remember in Season 6, Benjen said, "Ancient spells are carved into the foundation, which prevents the dead from crossing." Now Bran has the Night King's mark on his hands. I'm not sure whether the magic was superseded just like the cave when Bran crossed the wall. Anyway, the wall coming down at the end of Season 7 is inevitable. The story has been built up in that way. And Season 8 will completely focus on the Great War for the Dawn. So that's all. Thanks for watching. Like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe.